Okay, guys, I'm just quickly going to check my mic levels, but we are coming back for match 2. Mic level is fine. We're coming back for match 2 of Titan against Arrow. I was actually favoring Titan coming into this, but Arrow just, I think, just played better in that last game, had a better strategy, picked up some really good key items on the BKBs, and were able to just kind of just push down towers. Their team fighting was very solid as well. Titan played a very very good game, but yep, Arrow coming out ahead. And as I mentioned before, these two teams have both lost 2 matches so far in Asia Division 1. They've played different numbers of games though, but this is going to be a very important match for them. Titan now sitting on 3 losses is going to drop down to, let me think, 3rd position and probably very likely to be 4th, given that Orange haven't played all their games yet. I mean, to an extent, the 1 to 4 positions don't matter too much, simply because all 4 of those positions will go to the final. But you know, for the prestige of the thing and to keep 5th position from getting close, they really want wins. They really want wins. If Titan can secure a win now against Arrow, I doubt we'll see much movement among the top 4. But if Titan start racking up losses now in a row, they're going to be in real trouble. Real trouble. Chen Ban coming out from Arrow Gaming, which I like. He had a very big impact on that last game. Admittedly, he was an Arrow pickup, so they just don't want. Interesting. Each of the teams banning their own jungler. I am getting that the right way around, right? Yeah, yeah, I think so. Seems strange. Batrider also coming out from Arrow. Again, they don't like the getting quick initiation. Both teams picking up supports who in the previous game were banned in the first 3 bans. No, sorry, the first 5 overall bans.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, these are definitely top tier supports, no doubt. Amplified damage, slow, nuke, it's crazy. And Arrow picking up the Invoker as well. So I'm wondering if we're going to see more push with that, or whether it's going to be a different build on Invoker. He certainly used those Forged Spirits very well. You know, not as in favor since they got nerfed a little bit in recent patches, but yeah, proving it can still work. Nature's Prophet getting picked up by Titan. It seems like the pattern for these games is going to be kind of oriented around push and counter push. I think Nature's Prophet would have been very useful last game for either team. You know, for Titan, if they'd had Nature's Prophet, I'm not saying he would have been able to make a great difference in kind of those team fights where they were pushing tier 3s. But while that was going on, and remember, Arrow did have to try and siege tier 3 numerous times. While that was going on each time, he could have been pushing another lane and taking racks in exchange, and it would have been a much closer game. Titan would have had more time to farm up Lone Druid, get BKBs up on their own heroes, and Abyssal for either the Slark or the Slardar would have been amazing. They could have picked that up on the Lone Druid or the Bear, and yeah, so I think a very good pickup from Titan. I'm surprised that Nature's wasn't actually banned. Just gonna quickly double check all my stream settings, then I will get back to you and talk about Mr. Lycan. Grumble, stop taking so long. Yeah, I'm sorry I keep freaking out and checking those things. It's just I've had so many instances, like far more than I was expecting when I got into casting, of suddenly my mic setting to 100 or something like that. The Lycan pickup, this, okay, just throwing it out there, Arrow Gaming, every single one of those heroes has summons. Lycan also has a passive for his own summons and an active which buffs every summon, all allied units nearby. Up against that, they're running against Ancient Apparition, who runs decent AoE, which of course is great against large amounts of summons, and a Nature's Prophet and a Naga Siren. This is like mad. This is like Warcraft 3. I mean, honestly, is this a MOBA anymore, or is it just straight RTS? I just don't see this anymore. It's a kind of gaming I love. You know, when I first started playing Dota 2, kind of my first something like 80 games were on Broodmother, because the person who got me into it, Metamorphosis, I was like, look mate, I like Warcraft 3, so what's good about this game? And he's like, well, try Broodmother, because she controls loads of units, so it might be a little bit might be a little bit like that, and I loved it. I didn't care about losing if I could control 100 little minions. So yeah, for me, I love this kind of Dota. I wish I was in this match, and I'm so glad I'm casting it. The Sand King pickup also very, very powerful in this situation. Not obviously as a summoner, but as someone who just does ridiculous AoE damage, and therefore will be an amazing counter to particularly the melee summons of Nature's Prophet and Naga. You know, Epicenter is great for clearing an area, but you wouldn't use it unless there were heroes around as well. Sandstorm does great AoE damage, and can be used pretty reliably. You know, if you're using it to counter push, so you're just setting it up under a tower, that's fairly safe. But Caustic Finale, I think, might play quite a large part here as well, because if you've got a whole bunch of Treants coming up, as well as Naga Illusions, Caustic Finale almost works better the more melee enemies there are, because when one of them explodes, it'll lower the health of all of the enemy melees nearby, which will bring them lower, so one more hit on them will make them explode. It works quite nicely. So I think the Sand King pickup there was amazing as a counter to Nature's Prophet and Naga Siren. I really like what Arrow are doing. Am I turning into an Arrow fanboy? I don't know, but that was very impressive, and it does seem to have given Titan pause. I'm wondering whether they were planning on kind of continuing the melee illusion side of things, perhaps with, I mean, I'm assuming it's carry Naga, but it could be mid Naga, and then they might even have room for a PL. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun game. I can already tell this is going on my best cast playlist. Oh, I'm so happy. And because of that, and because I don't want there to be any chance of me losing this, I'm going to go and check my microphone settings one final time and have a quick look on Twitch itself and make sure that everything's working, because I want this to be beautiful. And we're still waiting on that pick. Now only 11 seconds of bonus time left there for Titan. And yeah, okay, stream seems to be working. Yeah, this is going to be an amazing game. Shadow Shaman there getting picked up by Titan. Yes, I like it. You know, obviously his wards are magic immune, but he's a great pushy support. It does have to be a carry Naga now. Could still be a mid Naga, so I guess that hasn't changed. I think that Titan, maybe especially with that long duration there, I think might have changed their strategy slightly. I think they might have been going for kind of summon-y, aura-y push, and I think now they're just happy, given the potential counter push from Sand King. They're happy to just go into just more traditional push. So they've got the summons in there. They'll make sure they got some auras up, but they've also got Shadow Shaman just for wards and nukes and such. And you know, the whole thing about Shadow Shaman is if you do it right and the enemy don't counter you properly, you can take a tower pretty much whenever his ult comes off cooldown. Certainly by the time it reaches kind of level 2. Combine that with Nature's Prophet, you know, you can guarantee Nature's Prophet is going to be there whenever Shadow Shaman puts his wards down on the tower. There'll be an AA ult coming in as well. The Naga Siren, I mean, I would like it if Titan played Naga Siren as a hard carry and picked up a mid now, because I think that would make for a really fun game, I suppose, but also a really interesting one. I don't think Naga Siren would do too well against Invoker mid, so I think that's probably, or basically certainly what they're going to do. They also have quite a nice tri-lane setup here with AA, Naga Siren, and Shadow Shaman. Nature's Prophet not really being played jungle much anymore, tends to be played in the offlane. With the nerfs to the jungle and the fact that Nature's doesn't exactly benefit from being in the jungle the way, say, Enchantress of Chen does. You know, he can summon his trees pretty much anywhere, and he's just such a good offlaner. You know, really, really hard to get him behind. Really good at making sure that the tower doesn't take too much damage. If you give him an inch, he'll push the enemy tower down as well. So yeah, exactly perfect for the offlane. Good tri-lane setup there from Titan, and yeah, waiting for a mid pickup. Looking at Arrow, the Mirana now being picked up as a final choice, and I'm a little surprised by that. You know, it does give them a little bit more flexibility, but I don't think they've really got the team to take total advantage of her ult. Sand King will like it, Lycan will like it. But yeah, it seems to be more of a push team, and I don't see Mirana syncing perfectly with that role. I think there were better choices. Do like the Lifestealer pickup from Titan though, just because I always like the Lifestealer pickup on pretty much anyone. I think he can go toe to toe with Lycan. Rage is going to make him immune to pretty much everyone else. So amazing pickup. Whenever I see Lifestealer picked up in a game, I always say to myself, "Oh, I should have picked that up," or "Oh, I should have banned it," or "Oh yes, I picked up Lifestealer." Those are the three possible options. Boo boo boo. So, just waiting for people to pick their heroes now. Titan, I doubt there's any disagreement about who's going to be playing who. They're just taking time to scratch their ass and get some coffee. There we go. There we go. Coffee was brought. Asses are scratched. The traditional and essential Burrow Strike coming out there from Sand King. In case you didn't know, all Sand King players have to do that the minute they start playing. Have to do a Burrow Strike. Beautiful courier here. Wow. Unusual Yonex Rage, legendary IG courier here coming out from Arrow. Alright, respect. Bleak Hallucination and Dungeon Doom. I gotta say, Mozan, you have a beautiful courier. That's from Dire Tide 2013. Wow, that guy's awesome. In fact, I'm gonna have a quick look at the Radiant courier as well. We'll get to the players in a sec. And it's this guy again. I've seen him before in other Titan games. Love him. X's crazy ass dropping. Okay, so now let's have a look. We got Lance up on the Arrow team. We got Lance up on the Lycan. He's going to be looks like solo safe lane. Roller taking the Invoker mid. No surprise there. And then yeah, here comes the aggressive tri lane. Looks like okay. Mirana, if they're going for early game, Mirana on an aggressive tri lane is a little bit more feasible. And look at her there on her big ass lion. And then we've got Mozan on the Sand King and Johnny on the Visage. I'm looking forward to seeing this tri lane get kills. They better do it or I'll be mad. And they're going up against a Nature's Prophet as well, so they really, I hasten to emphasize this, Nature's Prophet can be dived. That's kind of how you deal with him. You've got to get into a situation where you can ignore the treants and then kill him, and I think that this tri-lane can do that. So that's Ohai on the Nature's Prophet there, going to be facing up against that tri-lane. It's NWP on the Shadow Shaman mid. That's actually fairly good against Invoker. Played cautiously, there's just a lot of harass coming out. If Invoker ever tries to make a move, you've got Hex, you've got Shackle. If Invoker ever tries to dive under the tower, you've got Shackle in a second, and it helps him get his wards up quicker, which is going to do wonders for their push. Up on the top lane, we've got KYXY on the Lifestealer. No surprise there. Heavy carry for the win. Looks like they might be jumping on this Lance because X on AA and Net on the Naga, and it is a support Naga, are actually lining up to jump out on this. Lance noticing that people aren't on the map, they're playing very cagey. You gotta hope that NWP has noticed as well that Mozan and Johnny have not turned up in bot lane. This is, yep, they're now spotted. I don't think they're going to have a chance here for anything. So it's just, and also, I mean, this works against Arrow. Yeah, they've been spotted out by a Nature's Prophet tree, if nothing else. This works against Arrow because the the Titan ambushes, if we're going to call them that, are within XP range. What's basically happening here is, okay, Lycan is going to be getting levels soon because they're not actually zoning him out that much, but oh, now they are there. But Lifestealer was just getting total free farm, whereas on mid, that wasn't really happening so much. They had to stay way back to stay out of that tower range, given where the creep wave was, given the fact that mid is harder to gank. And yeah, so they didn't have much luck. They've done a nice observer ward here, though. They're looking to probably courier snipe, I want to say. They're waiting for Shadow Shaman to bottle crow, which he will be doing probably in about 100 gold. And then of course that is massive, because not only are you taking out the courier, and that's great gold for your team and incredibly annoying for the enemy team early on, but also you're denying Shadow Shaman his bottle, and actually they might get a kill here instead. Yep. The oh no! Visage, why didn't you just wait for the courier? Nature's Prophet, of course, TP straight in, very, very well. Top lane, by the way, in case you guys are giving out, Lycan is just not able to get anywhere close. Naga is just kind of scouting him out and seeing what's going on. X is making sure that KYXY is safe, just eating up these creeps, helping to get the damage down a little bit. and the creeps are killing the tower. So yeah, that's what's going on down here. Doesn't look though like this is going any better for Titan down on the bot lane. Mirana pretty much getting free farm. Non-ideal, I want to say. I'm kind of sad they didn't get the Radiant Courier. That would have been an amazing play, and I think they kind of wasted the opportunity going for a kill that they were unlikely to get given the presence of a Nature's Prophet on the team.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
Of course, he's going to be able to do a bit more contesting against this Mirana now that he has come back into lane. And in a way, leaving lane and letting them push out under the tower has meant that when he comes back to lane, he's actually going to be in a position to get some last hits, rather than spending the entire first 10 minutes up around here somewhere, unable to get close. Of course, he lost out on the experience, so I'm not saying it's good, I'm just saying it's not all bad. And it looks like Arrow's top tier 1 is just going to go straight down. I'm wondering if Titan are doing a little bit of what we saw in their Mith game, to be honest, which is, you know, when things start to go a little bit bad, just kind of get really serious about things. They are now moving on KYXY though. Net making a very strange choice to run through the entire pack, and does get taken out. Mosen saved there, absolutely saved by Sandstorm. Ohai comes in, and Helm's managed to pick off the Visage, but Lifesteal has now gone down, and that's terrible. Ohai also in a really bad position, and a rotation from Invoker finishes him off. So that was tier 1 for 1 and 3, and this early in the 1 and 4. Okay, well this early in the game, that hero kills aren't worth as much as they are later. Tower kills are always worth the same amount. So yeah, that's great. It's given Lifestealer a lot of space to farm, and possibly helped shut down Lycan a lot. But I don't think they needed to lose like pretty much any of those heroes. They could have taken the tower and run. I think both teams so far this match have been underestimating their opponent's capacity to rotate. I think that's what the problem has been. Net moving bot now. I'm wondering if they are. It does kind of look like they're just straight up rotating the lanes with X and KYXY also moving in. They want to go for Mirana. I want to say they're not the best lane for that though. You know, AA has slows. That doesn't stop leap. Net doesn't stop leap. Open Wounds doesn't stop leap. I mean, they've got a lot of slows, but they can't really get kills on Mirana unless they ambush her, like from all sides, so that whichever way she leaps, she'll run into someone, and that's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. Is doing a good job in making sure that KYXY gets his farm though. I want to say, quite possibly building to Midas. He's got his face boots up, and now he's looking to just farm as quickly as he can. I'm saying that based partly on the fact that he has got just very good farm, and it's kind of the time of the game where you might think to yourself, wow, I can actually go Midas right now. Mirana now going to come down and try and contest some of his farm. I would say that Titan really needs to do something about that. Not that Mirana's a huge threat, just that KYXY really needs to be able to farm really without any worries. Well, not that he seems hugely concerned. He's actually just doing a wonderful job getting the denies up against that Mirana. It's in a slightly strange turn though. They seem to have just given Lycan free farm top, which I'm not really sure. They basically zoned him out of the entire game earlier. Now he's got Vlads, he's got 6. His involvement with those kills helped that certainly, but I think rather than just do a full rotate, it might have been better to try and shut down the Lycan a little bit more. But who knows? I'm not on the Titan team, as people may know. Yep, here we go. Open wounds. Open wounds. Oh, and there's the shackle. Nice long shackle there is the counter to the leap. And yeah, Shadow Shaman is who they need if they want to kill Mirana. You know, Hex followed by Shackle. It's just wonderful. It's beautiful. I've just realised the reason I love this courier is it looks like it has a DD room. Nice, nice. A big Radiant push coming up here, and yep, we see NWP's Serpent Woods coming out. That's very well positioned so that they're all in range of the tower, but not any further ahead than they need to be. Massive warding coming out from Arrow around the mid lane. Wow. I mean, that's like, forget other lanes, just get rune control and wow. And I'm not sure that's wise. I mean, as I said, I think Titan should be going for this, trying to shut down this Lycan a little bit more, like around now, when they've got the tier 1 down, and he's trying to farm the jungle a lot of the time. I think very easily you could have a, I don't know, Shadow Shaman, Lifestealer, and Nature's Prophet, because why the hell not, come in there and finish him off, no problem. Given that that's what I'm saying Titan should do, I also think that Arrow should be getting up wards to prevent it. Titan aren't doing it, so Arrow don't need the wards to prevent it, but c'est la vie, c'est France. Things picking up bot lane in a kind of really slow KYXY getting late game farm kind of way, so I suppose picking up isn't really appropriate. What's coming out here? It is the Hand of Midas. Yep. I mean, beautiful job there by Lycan. Just finishes off the. I mean, he's now online. He's still incredibly slow because no boots. The rationale behind that, of course, will be he'll only want to be moving fast in team fights. I mean, I expect he'll get boots soon, but and when it comes to team fights, he can pop his ult, and that gives him ridiculous movement speed, so boots become practically redundant. Which is a valid strategy. I do like that idea. I wish he'd been shut down more by Titan, especially given that he didn't have boots. You know, he's now got an Aegis, he's got Vlad's, he's got 500 gold, he's got a medallion. That's a fully online Bloodseeker. Something needs to be done. Oh, Visage getting picked off by a bit of Titan boldness as they went across the river there. Mirana ult has been popped. I want to say forced out. And Titan now 3 for 4. And given that the later kills are worth more experience than the early kills, nope, Arrow are still ahead on XP. Titan ahead on gold though. Lifestealer really just farming up a blaze. Let's have a look at last hits. Lifestealer on 60. We're going to call Shadow Shaman and Invoker even though Invoker is slightly ahead. So the first really significant difference is definitely between Lycan and Lifestealer. Lance versus KYXY. But yeah, even ignoring how the game has gone so far and the fact that Lycan had 5 minutes of not being able to do anything right at the start, and Lifestealer's been just farming constantly everywhere and died once. I think Lifestealer just draft-wise, toe-to-toe, beats Lycan, other than maybe at a very specific point, you know, around kind of mid-game where Lycan, you know, if you've ever played against a Lycan, you know what I'm talking about. There comes that point where Lycan has kind of been absent for a while, or he's been in lane and his team has been fighting to get him ignored, and then suddenly he comes online and he comes rushing out and he's got a basher and he just hits so fast and he can take so much damage. He's online. The sentry ward comes out. Poor Sand King. Oh, beautiful job there. Does manage to burrow strike up onto the cliff, but Nature's Prophet ult, all that is needed to finish it off. An Invoker now coming in. Nice arrow there from Mirana helped secure the kill, but I'm almost tempted to say, after seeing you know, really good Invoker from Proton in our little home run tournament recently, that Invoker could certainly have won that just by himself. You know, if he can get that initiation off with all his AoE spells, it doesn't matter how many heroes there are, because it's all AoE. It's the beauty of Quaswex, I suppose. Shadow Shaman though able to pop another set of wards, take down another tower in the meantime. So not a complete loss. Not a complete loss for Titan. It was a very risky move, I think, coming up here, given the lack of knowledge they had about the enemy position. But I certainly wasn't expecting the Mirana Invoker to get in that quickly and that proficiently. Mirana picking out a Hand of Midas as well, so that's 3 in game at the moment on Lifestealer, on Nature's Prophet, and on Mirana. Invoker probably going to be building up into an Orchid here, which I really like. That's an amazing pickup on basically everyone, and yes, he's definitely the best person to pick it up here. I'm wondering whether Sand King is going to go for the Veil of Discord and work that into the traditional Sand King combo. So instead of just being Blink in with ult and stun, and then maybe Sandstorm, it's Blink in, increase magic increase magic damage. Whoa, good job, AA. I was here. I had my screen in the right place, and I missed that. Oh, it's Shadow Shaman Lifestealer. This is the other kind of Nake's Bomb. You know, there's your traditional Nature's Prophet, Spirit Breaker Nake's Bomb, or Storm Spirit Nake's Bomb, where it's all about being highly mobile. And actually, they can do this as well with the Blink Dagger on Shadow Shaman. I hadn't noticed that. But it's also the kind of like, he was mid and he's squishy. So if the enemy see him wandering around by himself, they may well decide that he's a good person to target. Very nice rotation here though by Arrow. They've got Mirana Invis up. They've got, and yeah, they managed to catch out the AA quite easily just by comboing stuff nicely. They won't have it that easily on the hard hitters on the Titan team. They're gonna try anyway though. Shadow Shaman does get a lot of damage. He's gonna actually Siren Song out. Oh no, he's not, with a beautiful Mirana arrow. Of course, the range on that being absolutely atrocious. You can easily fire it from outside of the song, and it does more damage the further it flies. So that's a thing. I'm gonna hopefully take advantage of a quiet bit right now to have a bit of a drink, because my voice is turning into a sandpaper ashtray. So one moment. There we go. Okay, back to the business. Mirana, I mean, hasn't, in my opinion, been making a huge difference in these fights. Not what you want from a Mirana to get all the farm she needs. As I said, some amazing arrows. This is going to be another one. If only damage towers. Yeah, now that she's got the Midas on, we're going to be seeing Manta. We're going to be seeing Deso. And she'll become an awful lot more scary very quickly. Lycan, is he going to try and farm the Ancients with his wolves? Is he going to try and farm the... He's going to try and farm the Ancients with his wolves. Good job, my son. Good job. Yeah, now we're really seeing his auras and everything come online. He's got boots, huzzah. He's also got 2,500 gold. He's getting spotted out by Dire Wards. Regen Rune gets spotted out by... Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Lycan side ward. Johnny here up on the Visage, looks like he wants to push top, and Nature's Prophet is coming in behind him to give him a bit of a surprise. Bit of a short, sharp kick up the rump. Tries to TP, I think, there briefly, but Hex comes out from NWP on the Shadow Shaman and just shuts it down completely. This is kind of unfortunate. I've got the feeling X wants to jump out on anybody trying to push mid, but yeah, Roller could have jumped out on him potentially. I'm unsure what's going on here. It looked like Dire was setting up a gank mid, and then it looked like suddenly they're all running bot to do the same gank on bottom on KYXY. I guess he is a target. Unfortunately, he did just TP mid, so they probably should have just stuck with what they were originally planning. Roller now notices, oh dear, gets caught out there by by a nice blink there from the Sand King. Unfortunately, not going to be enough there on the part of Titan to catch the Invoker. They are going to get the Sand King, but that's how you play Sand King. Your carry's getting killed, you get in there and you stop it. But yeah, I mean, just having a look at this overall, it's kind of a farm battle between Lycan and Lifestealer, and I do fancy Lifestealer in that arrangement. Item wise, let's have a quick look. Shadow Shaman will probably be going Ags, and that will mean even more push on the part of Titan. The difficulty is that they might have is, you know, Shadow Shaman's great at getting down those first 6 towers. Tier 3's still a little bit harder. So I've seen plenty of games where the side with Shadow Shaman and, you know, Death Prophet or Nature's Prophet or some other pushy prophet, you know, really easily just creamed down the first 6 towers, and then just stalled for you know, half an hour, trying to get up onto tier 3, and the enemy team just farmed up and won. Titan here looking to do an ambush mid. I really like the look of this. We've got Net coming in. He'll be ready to song in as and when necessary. But the important bit. Oh no! Oh, sorry, I was headed somewhere else. Does look like Titan have overextended here though. Naga's down and SS is down. I guess they were just too squishy to stand up to some of these Arrow players. Yeah, I was a bit confused there because the fight seems to be going on in 2 places. But obviously, the bit where I thought it was going on, that wasn't going well. And what became very obvious there was that the bit where stuff was also going on, which I wasn't watching, was also going very badly for Titan. I mean, they did good to get out with just these 2 down. It would have been horrific if they lost KYXY. But there you go. There you have it. That's done now. Roller has his Orchid and actually practically on a 4-staff as well. Lance picking up Necrobook, great pickup on Lycan, for the simple reason that which is it's oops, wrong button. It's his passive, isn't it? Which, oh, come on, computer, obey me. Yeah, Feral Impulse. It doesn't affect enemy allies. It affects words today, I swear. This is what happens after like an hour and a half of just constant talking. It doesn't affect allies. It affects allied units that Lycan controls. My god, for like an incredibly simple point, that took me a very long time to say. So him getting a Necrobook and being able to going straight to 3 as well, I think. Him getting a Necrobook means that unlike his allied heroes, his allied Necro creeps will be getting the benefit of Feral Impulse. So they definitely want to push here. It seems like they're almost playing 4 Protect 1, which, I mean, I suppose that is, as I understand it, part of the Asian Dota scene. It's much more late game oriented. So you want your farm carry to just farm. And that's certainly what KYXY is trying to do. But at the same time, the rest of their team, you know, while at the same time is trying to do a 4 Protect 1 thing, are pushing quite hard, and Lifestealer's not afraid to get his hands slightly dirtier, I guess I should say. Can't really say Lifestealer's afraid to get his hands dirty because they are encrusted in blood. Yeah, here we go though. Arrow have a good chance to come in very hard here and catch out an awful lot of people. NWP doing a nice blink just to stay away from some of these things. There comes heals, there comes the wards. Lifestealer KYXY has popped out. The song is popped just to give them a clear way out. I mean, given the presence that that Arrow had there, I almost think they would have been, that Titan would have been better just leaving, just saying, well, whatever, it's a tier 1. Nature's Prophet making a good effort to push top in the meantime, but unfortunately Morana just immediately comes back up there, and that's not really a fight that he wants to continue. Apparently, he is doing a great job blocking these creep camps, though unfortunately none of them are empty, so a hardcore block is hardcore, that's all I have to say. Arrow here looking to take Roche. I mean, Titan no, and they're in the area, but they don't want to do this. I'm guessing that their plan at the moment is keep farming Lifestealer. He might be our savior in a team fight. He might be he might give us a turnaround at some point. But other than that, I think they want to go a little bit rat Dota. And they've certainly got the team for it. But yeah, the Arrow team are just playing as such a solid unit. And Titan don't have the AoE to deal with it, to be perfectly honest. They got AA ult, which is great. They got Naga ult, which doesn't do any damage. They got Shadow Shaman, who, yeah, okay, wards, I guess, are AoE, and so it's Ether Shock, but that's not what you want. And Arrow are just responding to that by playing it very, very close to the chest. They're grouped up the whole time. And they're not really losing out on experience doing that, because yeah, they're getting kills the whole time, and now they've all just come online. They're just gonna hot knife through butter on those towers. Nature's Prophet, I think, needs to be counter pushing the entire time. I personally think he should definitely be down in the bottom lane right now. I'm really not sure what Ohai's doing mid, if anything else, because there's nothing mid. You know, he could go top. That would probably be a bad idea, I think, but he could. Oh dear, and there's Shadow Shaman go down and KYXY as well. This ain't good. Yeah, if Nature's Prophet had been pushing this, they would almost certainly have got down that tier 2, which would at least have been something. I very much doubt the Dire Heroes would have been able to TP back enough in time, given that they suddenly had an opportunity to kill KYXY and they were almost certainly going to want to take that. But now, Ohai turns up now, and what's this going to do? There was a siege creep here before, which would have helped massively, and yeah, now Arrow are moving back in, so there's really nothing that can be done. That's really sad. And yeah, at the same time, because he hasn't managed to push down that tower and he's not pressuring the other lane, there's nothing, you know, Sand King can go back there and stop him, but there's nothing to stop the rest of the Arrow team pushing the rest of that lane. They just got 2 towers down. They've now overtaken the tower count against, you know, a Shadow Shaman Nature's Prophet lineup at 25 minutes in with no tier 3s or racks down. That's not good for Titan, ladies and gentlemen. Lifestealer falling further and further behind in the farm charts. Let's have a quick look at XP per minute. XP per minute, even worse, in fact, I want to say, in terms of the difference. And I guess let's have a look at the graphs. Yeah, I mean, Arrow 10,000 ahead now. Not quite as much in terms of gold, but 10,000 ahead is roughly where they were at probably about 5 minutes before the end of the previous match in terms of XP. So not good. And now they're just coming in over and over and over again. And I mean, it may seem like I'm saying contradictory things here, given that, you know, I'm saying Nature's Prophet should be going off by himself and taking advantage. The second he does that, he just gets ganked. But it's about choosing a time. I mean, this is where they should have 4 people. Sorry, this is, in my opinion, where Titan should have 4 people trying to defend or push out the lane that's in the worst shape. In the meantime, Nature's Prophet should be pushing out the one that is most pushed out. I mean, what you basically had there was Nature's Prophet getting the safe lane farm in... very strange. Very strange. But as I said, this is a lot of Dota styles that I'm not used to. That's what I get when I watch the Asia 1 League. Another Sand King initiation. Gabe Newell's favourite character, probably mine too. The Hex, though, disrupts his ult, and that's going to render it totally useless. The wards here, I mean, this is bad when you start using... When the enemy are pushing so hard that Shadow Shaman is popping defensive wards, I want to say that's game. Lifestealer here is just rushing in. He wants to get a hit. He's got probably the most hit points on the map. But it has really just been a game of you know, Arrow versus single Titan